Good morning, all you beautiful people. It's Friday, yay! And we have a birthday in the house this weekend. My favorite person in the whole world is turning 38 tomorrow. So, for today's bonus episode, I am baking chocolate cupcakes with marshmallow frosting and nougat. I feel like I'm having a bit of a makeup fail today. What do you think? I was going for the rocker look. I'm also trying to not look pregnant. I'm not pregnant, in case you were wondering. And I tried to get those horrible bags under my eyes covered because from my previous video, I couldn't decide whether I looked like I was enjoying the gin a bit too much or just like a mother who hadn't slept for 4 years. So let me know what you think, rocker or crazy person. For our chocolate cupcakes with marshmallow frosting and nougat, we're going to start by baking the cupcakes. Just two very important things. Is it two or is it one? One very important thing to always remember is when you're baking cakes to preheat your oven. So I'm making quite a lot of cupcakes today. I've got two ovens, so I've got to set them both to 180. I've got to set them both to 180. And always remember to wait for your oven lights to go off to indicate that the oven is the right temperature. If you do not, your cupcakes won't bake evenly, and you're going to have those cakes or cupcakes that's pointy in weird directions or rises to one side. You're going to have an uneven cupcake. You also might find that it's a bit drier at one side or not. Point being, make sure your oven is at 180 degrees before you pop those cupcakes into the oven. Today's cupcakes we're going to bake for 30 minutes. Pull them out after 30 minutes. An over-baked cake isn't nice either because it becomes dry. You're going to stick in either your toothpick or your cake testing pin. This is not actually a cake testing pin. This is an old Susati stick. But, you know, it works, so why not? So, stick it in, make sure it comes out clear, then you know your cake is done. Let's get started. Our ingredients for today is 3 cups of all-purpose flour, or in Afrikaans we say koekmeal. In this, I've already sieved the flour as well. I have added 1 tablespoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of salt. This is quite a big recipe, so the ingredients are a lot. But if you've got a big family who's cake lovers, this recipe is perfect. We're using 4 eggs, not separated. We've got 2 cups of sugar. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Then we've got 3/4 of a cup of canola oil. And this is 1 1/4 cup of milk. I'm going to make big cupcakes today. I've got another little pan full of my little cupcake sleeves as well. I might not be able to make 12, but we'll see. First, we're going to start by mixing our 4 eggs with our 2 cups of sugar. You're going to beat this until the color has changed and basically become a very light color. So as you can see, the color has changed drastically from bright yellow to a very pale yellow. Next up, we're going to add our tablespoon of vanilla extract. So I am making chocolate cupcakes, but I like to always add vanilla because I like the taste. So a tablespoon of that. And we're going to slowly drizzle in the oil while we're mixing to get everything combined nicely. Next up, we're going to add our dry ingredients alternatively with the milk. Because I am making a chocolate cupcake from a vanilla recipe, I'm going to add the cocoa, this is 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, into the sieved flour. I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure you sieve your flour. Some recipes don't call for it. Trust me, if you want a light, fluffy cake, you always want to sieve the flour. I'm doing this, I'm mixing this, just to avoid an extra step while mixing. And as you can see, I'm using a hand beater. Then, as far as possible, try not to overbeat it at this stage. We still want air caught in between the batter, so we still have a light and fluffy cake once it's baked. Next up, we need to get our batter into our cupcake sleeves. I really don't know what I'm meant to call them. Tip: never fill your sleeve all the way to the top. You're going to fill it 3/4 in order to give it some space to rise, especially if you're looking for a more flattened top of the cake. And that goes for any cake, even if you're baking a whole cake, never fill the tin all the way to the top, 3/4. I use this when I make cupcakes. I just find it a bit easier. And we're gonna fill it 3/4. It's tempting, and I did this the other day, so I reminded myself again that it's tempting if you've got a lot of batter and you start to get a bit lazy to fill them to the top. It's just not worth it. If you're gonna put a topping onto your cupcakes, stick to the 3/4 rule. The reason for that being, if it falls to the brim, you're going to have a very pointy top, which means either your toppings will look skew, or you're going to have to cut off tops of the cake, and that just wastes. So I actually managed to make about 23.5 cupcakes. I didn't have enough batter left to fill the last one, and I have to tell you, I nearly put that batter into the rest of my cupcakes, but then I thought, let me take my own advice and not do that. The next step before you're going to put them in the oven is to just try and take out some of the bubbles. So you just bang your pans like this, and if you can see, the bubbles are coming out. It's just to avoid holes in the cupcake. Also, if you've messed some batter on your pan, and it's almost impossible to get this done without messing on your pan, wipe that off before you put it in the oven. It's not going to make a difference to the taste of your cupcakes, but it is going to save your pans. Once the batter gets baked onto the pan, it's very difficult to get it off. Prevention better than cure. Just wipe your pans before you stick them into the oven. Cupcakes are done. Half an hour was perfect, and we have got 22.5 beautiful cupcakes. As you can see, this is ideally what I've wanted, a nice even cupcake. I wasn't successful with all of them, but that's okay, we're going to deal with that. And now I'm going to show you how are you going to make your marshmallow frosting. It's also past 4, so cheers everybody. For your marshmallow frosting, I'm making a double batch because there's a lot of cupcakes here. 4 egg whites, going to need 2 cups of sugar and 6 tablespoons of water. I'm going to run you through it very quickly. You're going to melt your sugar in the water on your stove top, so creating a syrup. And you're also going to need tartaric acid or cream of tartar. It's very important to put your cream of tartar in because that stabilizes your frosting. Unfortunately, also the marshmallow frosting doesn't keep very well, so ideally you would want to use it the same day. I'm not going to do this tomorrow morning, so I'm doing it quite late in the day so that it only has to stand overnight while it's cool anyway. It melts in the heat. This has happened to me before. So it's not an ideal summer's day frosting, preferably when it's colder. If you're in a climate like ours, probably only in the winter. So what we've got here was 6 tablespoons of water in a pot. I've added 1 cup of sugar already. I'm going to add another because I want 2 cups. And all we want here is for the sugar to melt. I read somewhere that you shouldn't stir the sugar too much because it might granulate. So let's see how this goes. So we have our 4 eggs separated in this bowl. You want a little bit of cream of tartar. I'm going to add half a teaspoon only, because remember, it's only there to stabilize. And then you're going to beat this baby until it makes hard peaks. So I'm going to add the syrupy sugar and hope this works. This doesn't look like I think it should, but we'll see. Our marshmallow icing has come out perfectly. I'm going to be piping them onto the cupcakes. So we're going to fill this with the marshmallow icing. And I wanted to show you what the cupcakes are meant to look like once they come out of the oven. And we want a beautiful, soft, flavoursome cupcake. I've got an assistant here that's probably dying to taste it. And now we are piping our marshmallow onto our cupcakes. Ready, and they look so pretty. They look divine. And then, because I am me and waste not, want not, I've made little star marshmallows for the kids. Thank you again for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I forgot to say, Bear in mind that there is a lot of beating involved in getting the marshmallow frosting to look like this. If you feel like giving up, don't. You're probably almost there. Just keep at it until it keeps its form like you've just seen here. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please remember to like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you next week.
The face of somebody enjoying the marshmallow frosting.